Yeah, I got something to say. I got something to say. So, I'm a musician. I'm a singer, songwriter. I started my own media business. I'm a writer. I'm working on my first book. I'm doing it all. And I constantly get asked, how come I'm not famous yet? How come I haven't made it yet? And the answer is very simple. And the answer is I'm self-funded. I'm self-funded. So I'm not famous yet, which I'm not really chasing fame, but it's because I can only do so much with the small budget that I have. I have the personality to be a media personality. Hello, like that even makes sense. But it's like, I feel validated when I get that reassurance from peers who say these things to me, right? Like, how come you're not famous? You're so talented. I'm marketable. I have the personality to do the things that I want in my life. But because money holds me back, like I can only do what I can do. And so going into this year, I wanted to practice more patience with myself because I could use more patience in general, but specifically with myself. Learning to understand that I can't hold myself accountable for things that I can't control. So what that looked like for me personally was setting little goals and tackling them when I could, and having patience with myself when it just didn't happen in the timeline that I wanted it to happen. I don't know why I still hold myself to a timeline, because things never happen when I want them to, whether it's because of me, whether it's because of circumstance, it is what it is. And so for this small little goal that I have for this month, this paycheck was to finish my backdrop for my podcast, which is going to be a dating podcast. And so I was hesitant because I made myself a list on my laptop and I was like, okay, I got to get all these things. And I was looking at it and I was like, how the hell? Even the small things add up very quickly when you're paying for it, by yourself with no, financial backing from parents, from significant others, a business loan or whatever. But nevertheless, I wasn't going to stress myself out about it because, again, I can only do what I can do. I work 7 days a week. Okay. In this economy, I have less and less money at the end of each month to devote to my creative projects, which has really been taking a toll on me mentally and emotionally, because that is like my will to live. Like, I'm not even being dramatic when I say that, but there's a reason why some of us creatives continue to pursue the paths that we pursue, because it's literally life or death. Because if I didn't pursue these things, I'd go crazy. So I marched my cute behind to Home Depot. I had invited a friend to come help me with plywood because I was trying to play a damsel in distress, but look at those guns. I don't need no man. But anyway, it was, quality time. That is my love language. And of course it didn't happen, but I went anyway because, again, it was like top priority, simple backdrop, and yeah, it's right there. So I don't know why I thought that I was fixing to spend hundreds at Home Depot. I guess I just didn't do my research to really understand how much plywood and cedar wood and all the stuff to use as a backdrop would cost. So I thought I was fixing to drop stacks. You know what I mean? So y'all, I spent a grand total of $49.86. And as I'm getting all my stuff and the Home Depot guy was helping me, he even cut my little 2x4s, because I was like, wait, I don't have these type of power tools. I really miss my dad in these moments because he had everything. We could have had this together in 5 minutes, but I was just eternally grateful. So my whole point of this video was to set forth a reminder to anyone that needed to hear this today, is to always have a spirit of gratitude. No matter how hard life gets, no matter how hard you think you have it, if you feel like the big guy upstairs has kind of, put you on the back burner, which, I'm right there with you. That's my next blog post, so stay tuned for that. But going into this year, I knew that I just needed to practice a better spirit of gratitude, whether it was just the little things. We all have our New Year's resolutions, and I was trying to think of all the things I was grateful for, and I really was like, well, it's been another uneventful year. I guess all I had to be grateful for was that I had, food in my belly and a roof over my head. I was just really thinking that, I mean, all I had to be grateful for were the basics, was the bare minimum. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, there are people out there that don't even have that. So if that's what you have to be grateful for, then you have more than a lot of people right now, especially in this day and age with, you know, inflation and everything just going up. So I was just so happy that I only spent $49.86 at Home Depot. And, you know, these motherfuckers, I will be spending way more money because I'm bougie. But you know what? It's just like, trust the process of your life. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some patience. Try to find something every single day to be grateful for. I know some days it's harder than others, but even if it's, you know, that you got out of bed and you had a job to go to, even though you hate that job, but it pays your bills, it keeps a roof over your head. I work in customer service right now, and so I am grateful if I don't punch someone in the face. You know, it's been over a decade, and that's why I'm trying to transition myself to my business and my creative projects, because it's touch and go, you know, most days these days. So, you know, I think that we could all practice just being thankful, you know, like going outside and, you know, looking at the stars or looking at nature, bruh. Like, it's like, God, I'm so thankful that today was a beautiful day, or thankful that, like, hey, you know, I got to a gas station because, you know, that was me today too. Cause, you know, I was like, oh, you know, I can make it. But then, you know, my car started sputtering. I was like, ah. And I mean, if you're like me and you feel like your life has just been, you know, more bad than good. And I'm not trying to be dramatic by saying that, like, I'm writing a book about, my childhood and everything like that. And my life genuinely has been more bad than good. And so when you say things like that, my first response is like, you know, sometimes it's the consequences of your own actions that make your life the way it is. But then there are other times where I genuinely feel like I have this dark cloud that follows me and just rains on my parade 80% of the time. You know, when things are normal and I'm not in constant survival mode or just like, you know, rebuilding mode, I'm like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop any moment. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's just try to practice a better spirit of gratitude, because really, really, there is something to be grateful for every single day. And I genuinely believe, whether you're a religious person or not, you believe in energy, you believe in, you know, the universe. I feel like when you put forth that type of energy, you know, puts forth into you. And I never want to say to do something so you can see what you get out of it. But I mean, I just saw my mood change today. Like, I literally wanted to do cartwheels in the freaking Home Depot parking lot, because I was like, yeah, you know, again, it was just something so small, you know, like as far as like my budget, because again, I'm budgeting so, you know, like to the penny on all these things, but it's gonna happen. Trust the process of your life.